Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a somewhat early version of HA After Dark. I guess the evening version. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a very, very interesting tweet I'm going to speak about from President Trump, and for the first 30 minutes, I'm going to give you everything you need to know. So for people who are interested, who usually enjoy the uploads, please go ahead and watch at least a half an hour or at least 20 minutes. And then we veer off after a half an hour into voices and impressions, and it's like a vaudeville act. But this is Trump. This is Trump. By the way, I know there are a lot of people like, HA, you say you want a president who's less hawkish. Look what he's doing with this tweet or with Iran. We are not going to have, there's no way possible for regime change in Iran. Unfortunately, what the United States does is embed itself within civil wars that are essentially counterinsurgency wars and then push for regime changes. We've seen that in Iraq and Afghanistan and also in Vietnam. There is no civil war in Iran. Furthermore, number one, number two, we would never engage in a regime change. It's not possible. Yeah, one guy's like, oh, this will be the moment Trump realized he was going to prison. For what? For winning? For what? The Palmer report. This will be looked at as the moment Trump realized he was going to prison. For what? What did he do? He was spied on. The prison, the illegal activity, the fake fabricated Russian hacking nonsense. That was all. Clinton actually broke Espionage Act laws with an unencrypted server that stored top secret and special access program intelligence in her basement. Spare us the theatrics. They've been saying that Trump was going to prison since, or going to be impeached. He's going to not only win 2020, Democrats are going to lose miserably in the House and Senate. They're descending into like this spiral of insanity, into a spiral of despair, and what they want, war with Russia. And in terms of criminal behavior, you have John Brennan, James Clapper lied under oath twice. That's perjury. You have Hillary Clinton, top secret special access program intelligence. Then let's not even get into the Clinton Foundation crimes. She's going to get charged eventually, while Trump, her only hope will be Trump pardoning her. But this is Trump, President Trump, to the Iranian President Rouhani: never, ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We are no longer a country that will stand for your demented words of violence and death. Be cautious. Yeah, right. It's top secret special access program intelligence. So basically, it's interesting too. The Iran's Rouhani warns Trump about the mother of all wars. Why do that? Why would you do that if you're any country? And I love the Iranian people and I love the Persian people. I do. If you're watching in Iran, I love you. But why do that if you're any country in the U.S.? Iranian President Hassan Rouhani on Sunday cautioned U.S. President Donald Trump about pursuing hostile policies against Iran, saying a war with Iran is the mother of all wars. Now, it's a conventional war. Nobody's a match for the U.S., but a counterinsurgency war, different story. But did not rule out peace between the two countries. That's good. I'm glad that President Obama signed a fantastic Iran deal with somebody who, with a government who would eventually speak like that. That's a fantastic thing. What a great Iran deal. Iran faces increased U.S. pressure and losing sanctions after Trump's decision to withdraw from the United States, withdraw the United States from a 2015 international deal. How about renegotiating? If this is their version of renegotiating, Clinton didn't know what the C means. Clinton lied under oath. She pretended she didn't know what the C meant. Sing this out. Like, there's so many different. Let's just go ahead. So there you go. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. All of this is such nonsense. So there you go. I mean, Trump is actually. Don't go ahead and try to troll Trump on Twitter, because that's what happens. Don't do it. Don't do it. To my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to keep rocking these live streams. So there you go. So we have a situation where you have a situation. If you still this guy, if you still support this crazy MF, or you're as much of a traitor as he is. This guy, traitor. You need to know the meaning of traitor. This guy's hilarious. Democrats are not generally viewed. The Democratic Party, the word patriot, is not generally the term that you would think of. This is a party that wants to erase the Second Amendment, make the First Amendment into social justice warrior paradise, where you can't, where if anyone on the left makes the most heinous, ridiculous, disgusting comments, that's okay. And people are like, oh my God, all caps, he's trolling everyone. Larissa Sosis, Brennan deleted his tweets. Did he? Thank you. Thank you, Larissa. If he did, he probably was worried about the Secret Service. So you have a situation where you just, I mean, Rouhani went ahead and note to self, don't troll. Don't troll Trump on Twitter. Irani's Rouhani warns Trump, a mother of all wars. Well, there you go. You are not in a position to incite the Iranian nation against Iran's security and interests, Rouhani's. Well, I mean, that I agree. We should leave them alone and not try to, foment, because we don't like election meddling. Apparently, the Democratic Party doesn't. Don't play with the lion's tail. That's the best part. You play with the lion, you get the fangs. Mr. Trump, don't play with the lion's tail. This will only lead to regret. So there you go. God bless you. God bless all of you. Only peace and love of the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. And all we need to defeat any insanity is vote. Vote Republican. Vote Republican, vote Trump. Protect the Second Amendment. Protect the First Amendment. Protect the Fourth Amendment. Liam, Trump is using the madman's gambit on Iran like he did with North Korea. Talk tough on one hand, possibility of peace on the other. Exactly. And the interesting thing is that it's not really, it's not at this point right now. This is a note to, I put note to self, don't troll Trump on Twitter. Iran's Rouhani warns Trump, a mother of all wars. But at the end of the day, it's not, you know, this is actually a pretty good indictment of the Iran deal. This is the country, well, I should say this is the government that Obama trusted to just launch 20 plus ballistic missiles. Did you know that in the Iran deal, 20 plus ballistic missiles were launched? And I'm all for, and I oppose any military action. So Liam, thank you so much. And I agree with you. I oppose any military action against Iran. I think that it would be stupid. There's no, you know. But if you go ahead and threaten the country, you're gonna get Trump to just clown Trump just clowned Rouhani. So now what's Rouhani gonna do? He's gonna end up like, you know, Kim Jong-un and eventually, hopefully, engage in peace. But it's very difficult to. Then what's Rouhani gonna say? Oh yeah, well, we have more nukes than you know. This is live. We'll do it live. So it's just getting bizarre, more and more, just more ridiculous all the time. All the time. And you have Trump now wanting to declassify more and more information. We're on our way to 1,000. There is no war with Iran. There are no military objectives. There's no reason for a war with Iran. This is a war of words with Trump, which Trump is going to win. I am against any military action against Iran. Betty Cochran. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Betty Cochran. Thank you. The issue now is, okay, now what's Rouhani going to say? Pretty much nothing. So what can you say? And I thought the Iran deal was such a great, you know, example of negotiation where, you know, finally you've reached an agreement with a former adversary, and now you have. I do understand. Actually, I do understand Rouhani's. Betty Cochran, thank you again. I do understand from his vantage point, from the Iranian vantage point, hey, you know what? Stop interfering in our elections. So they're like, hey, stop interfering in our elections. Remember? Remember that one? Remember that little tidbit? So but, you know, I just think that this is a situation right now where you don't want to escalate too much, because at the end of the day, nobody wins. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, now you've done it. Don't go ahead and troll somebody who trolls the press and the media and everyone else for a living. And Rouhani is not in a great position so much because Kim Jong-un had every single incentive to give up his nuclear program or to talk to South Korea to make peace. Iran doesn't really have an incentive to stop its nuclear program. They kind of, from their vantage point, Israel has nukes, so they're also going up against Saudi Arabia. There's a geopolitical clash between two very bizarre frenemies in Saudi Arabia and Israel who have kind of united against Iran. And so Iran really doesn't have any and then you have President Obama billions Iran. He lied to how Obama secretly gave Iran access to billions of dollars. Well, look at that. That's bizarre. How could this ever take place? How could this ever take place? Surely President Obama wouldn't lie. Bill Clymer, have you been officially red-pilled? I would say so. Bill, I would say I've been red-pilled to an extent. I'm not really conservative. What I am is a former progressive or liberal or whatever you want to call a person on the left who realizes that a great part of liberal or progressive politics is evil. I would say liberal politics is evil. Everything from the social justice warrior groupthink cult member maniacal, you better not say bad things. Oh, well, you know what? It's okay that Joy Reid made anti-gay comments. To this, oh, we must fight Russia. They're crazy. To, Hillary should be president. I was telling people since 2015 that Hillary would lose, and she lost. But this is very interesting. How Obama secretly gave Iran access to billions of dollars. Wow. One of the linchpins of former President Obama's nuclear deal with Iran was that it would be accompanied by a near ban on Iran having any access to U.S. banking system. Obama and his officials at the Treasury Department and the State Department were clear. They would work assiduously to freeze out Iran from getting dollars to fund its mischief and mayhem around the world. That didn't work out, did it? So meanwhile, like I said, I actually love the Iranian people. I know, so many wonderful, wonderful Iranian people. And both Muslim and Jewish, just absolutely beautiful people. The Iranian people are beautiful people. The government, different story. The Associated Press, as the Treasury and State Department worked behind the scenes to help Iran access dollar, the message to Congress remained the same. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action did not allow Iran to access U.S. financial system. Secret Obama-era permit let Iran convert funds to dollars. Wah, wah, wah. Tell me again how Obama's foreign policy wasn't anything but catastrophic. The worst foreign policy. From presiding over the rise of ISIS to giving, what, 20% of U.S. uranium capacity to the Soviet Union, or to Soviet Union, to Russia. How did that even play out? How is that smart policy? They used to say, oh, it's they call it, what is it? Wait, smart power. Every catchy, stupid phrase, stupid marketing phrase. Well, you know, it's smart power. Don't you know it's called smart power? We're not big and bad. We're smart. Secret Obama-era permit let Iran convert funds to dollars. after striking an elusive nuclear deal. So elusive. It was going all over. We finally caught it. It was so elusive. The Obama administration found itself in a quandary. In early 2016, Iran had been promised access to long-frozen assets, including $5.7 billion. Those assurances notwithstanding, the Obama administration secretly issued a license to let Iran sidestep U.S. sanctions. Well, that's not very good. What's going on there? That's bizarre. That is bizarre. And then we have today, here, the walkaway movement is the walkaway movement is a Russian plot. Those assurances notwithstanding, the Obama administration secretly issued a license to let Iran sidestep U.S. sanctions for a brief moment, required to convert the funds through an American bank. That's okay. To make sure we give the most horrible nuclear deal possible, will also allow you to just convert funds that you said that we promised would not be allowed to be converted through a U.S. bank. So, Candace Hibbard, I missed this. Thank you, Eric H526. Thank you for letting me know. Candace Hibbard. So before I can even get to Trump to declassify more Carter Page FISA application, GOP demands unredacted. Papa D. I always thought the wolf to the north eats Iran. Well, I don't think that at this point right now, I don't think that either China or Russia is a threat to Iran. I don't think that anyone, because, well, Iran and Russia are allies, especially in Syria. I would say that Russia is not Hillary Clinton. Thank you so much for being on this live stream. So let's go ahead and so this is all pretty crazy. Then, of course, we get, HA, you're supporting war against Iran. How does that... I'll put, no, of course not, but how is that conveyed? But how is that conveyed in my tweet? So... what Trump does is he's actually less hawkish, but he trolls like a maniac. So there's no reason to... we're not going to get into war with Iran ever. Mike Johnston, thanks, HA, and Eric with a K. Thank you, Mike Johnston. Thank you, Mike Johnston. So we got 838 people on this awesome live stream. Exclusive. House Intel GOP asked Trump to declassify key parts of Carter Page FISA application. Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee asked President Trump last month to declassify key sections of the surveillance warrant application for ex-campaign aide Carter Page. We found out that they used the Steele dossier. We found out that they used the Steele dossier without ever verifying any of the claims. We found out that judges never knew that Hillary Clinton purchased the Steele dossier. We also found out that there was this bizarre circular this circular reporting / journalistic and FBI symbiotic relationship where you had reporters who were getting fed information by the FBI, then publishing the information in these amazing news reports, and then the FBI using those news reports to deceive FISA judges. Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee asked President Trump last month to declassify key the heavily redacted application outlining the justification for surveilling Page, which was approved and renewed several times. We heard about that. Well, it's renewed several times. So what? So what? The heavily redacted application outlining the justification for surveilling Page, which was renewed several times by a FISA court, was released over the weekend after a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. Because the DOJ and FBI continued to obstruct the committee's investigation, it is time to put the facts in the public domain. The 13 Republicans on the committee, including Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, state in the letter that declassification should be consistent with the need to protect intelligence. Here we go. Adding that declassification will enable the public to understand the DOJ's and FBI's basis for obtaining the FISA warrant. All of this is ending the Mueller probe. They had no intelligence, but London court records show that, contrary to the FBI assessment, they were present to the FISA court. Christopher Steele briefed Yahoo News and other reporters in the fall of 2016 at the direction of Fusion GPS, the opposition research firm behind the dossier. Lawmakers also advised the president they have requested the senior judge who oversees the FISA court to conduct an investigation into the DOJ's conduct. Wah, wah, wah. Game over. You now have the judges in hot water. Wanker plutonium. Trump wig, please. You know what I need to get? Wanker plutonium. I need to get one of the like two baby Trump dolls. Two baby Trump floating Trumpies. That would be amazing. Like just floating behind me. Wah, wah, wah. And so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's on. All the wonderful people. Wonderful, 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 wonderful people. Just like Jiminy Glick. Wonderful, wonderful. If you're paying attention, then you know that Trump is not the madman. It's the media and the Democratic Party. They're all insane. So I oppose any military action against Iran. However, I find it amusing. I find it amusing that Rouhani's threat He's not a rational threat for them. So he shouldn't have said that. I oppose any military action against Iran. So and that's the thing also, like 930 people. I just don't get how the world doesn't see that when you give Trump, it's almost like an alley-oop or a layup or like, an easy dunk. You give him the opportunity to troll. He's going to troll beyond belief. The Helsinki summit was great. They're like, this is worse than Pearl Harbor. Like peace between worse than Pearl Harbor. Thousands of Americans murdered. And this is worse. What, the DNC, is that important? James Comey warns Democrats against socialism. Please, socialism, please don't lose your minds. James Comey. The wonderful James Comey. That's what you've gotten. And meanwhile, on the left, they're like, they're like, yes, Bernie, it's like Bernie's new pseudo revolution 2.0 funded by the DNC. And Comey, Democrats, please don't lose your mind and rush to the socialist left, because he knows this current version of Bernie's revolution is not going to, increase enthusiasm or passion. It's like basically the DNC saying, yeah, you can have this, not this president and his Republican Party are counting on you to do exactly that. America's great middle. America's great middle wants you in jail, Comey. Sensible, balanced, and ethical leadership. That's the best. The best is when he's giving advice now. The guy's being investigated by the Office of Professional Responsibility. So they're worried. See, if Trump goes ahead and gets, and he will, gets the House and Senate again, and Congress is Republican again, say goodbye to the Mueller probe, and then you have the Office of Professional Responsibility. And they're right now going up, they're investigating James Comey. There's already a criminal referral. There's already a criminal referral out for Andrew McCabe, but they're investigating Peter Strzok. There's a new investigation by the DOJ regarding the Comey memos. And now the Republicans want Trump to declassify even more of the FISA warrant. All of this is just basically, it's the worst thing that could happen to the Democratic Party right before the primary. All of this being exposed is the absolute worst thing that could happen. The absolute worst thing. Wow, this one guy's basically using profanity against the president. Coked up warmongering traitor. They keep on using the word traitor. I don't know what that even. How does the Democratic Party realize? Is there no understanding of what the word traitor is? then you have now the worst thing, including Comey and all of them going down. To declassify more of the Steele dossier. Declassify more of the Steele dossier would only go ahead. And show that President Obama was even more involved in all of this, which is what, let's just go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and see the Zero Hedge article. Clapper, check out my last segment, Clapper flipping on Obama. I'm sorry if I'm kind of out of it. It's just that it is a very bizarre tweet. It's not a bizarre tweet. I understand it, but it's hilarious slash something to be somewhat concerned with. Obama was behind the whole thing. So here you go, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. You have Clapper flipping on Obama, like I knew he would, like I knew some of them would. Somebody would. Too many spinning plates. It'll happen, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost there.
For President Obama, we might not have done the intelligence community assessment that we did that set off a whole sequence of events which are still unfolding today, notably Special Counsel Mueller's investigation. President Obama is responsible for that, and it was he who tasked us to do that intelligence community assessment in the first place. I think for President Obama, we might not have done the intelligence community assessment that we did that set off a whole sequence of events which are still unfolding today, notably Special Counsel Mueller's investigation. President Obama is responsible for that, and it was he who tasked us to do that intelligence community assessment in the first place.
So it's not treason to have peace with Russia. It's also not treason to disagree with the intelligence community. It's also not treasonous to ask for proof. They make the claim that they make the claim that they attacked our democracy. How? By letting us know that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Just because Bernie doesn't care doesn't mean that the world doesn't care. Everyone else should care. Let's listen to this again. I mean, they use the word treason as if hacking the DNC was Pearl Harbor. Guess what? You have not only people saying that Trump having a good relationship with Putin is like Pearl Harbor, which is insane. You have people who, like Bill Maher, want a recession. They've completely checked out. And then Whoopi Goldberg with Judge Jeanine Pirro is like, every conversation has started with immigrants or rapists. No, not every conversation. What they've done is they've painted this caricature of Trump in their brains, and it's become so real to them that they're no longer in reality now. It's now they're now reacting to their own Crypto Al, thank you so much. Crypto Al on Twitter, really, really cool. Understand that H.A. Goodman has suffered the slings and arrows from both sides of the hyperpartisan spectrum for simply being a real person and speaking the truth. I've been fortunate enough to watch this honest evolution firsthand. God bless this man. We need many more like him. That Crypto Al, if you're watching, I want to thank you very much. It's one of the coolest things that anybody said. I'm just going to put thank you. Crypto Al. Just very nice, of very kind thing to say. God bless you. Thank you so much. Beautiful sentiment. The worst, let me tell you, the worst, when I do my little shtick, like when I was like, oh, every day on the left, like every day on the left is Costello West. Thank you, Costello West. Thank you, Costello West. Every day on the left, like you're nothing. You're horrible. You suck. You're not real. You're a poser. That's like on a good day, right? And the interesting thing is, when I first started really writing in the Huffington Post in 2014, and articles were going viral too, even before I wrote about Bernie Sanders. I was on The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell before I started writing about Bernie Sanders. But what really hurt was, I remember people going nuts if you just thought differently. And I remember the attacks hurt me, because I was like, wait, I'm a progressive. I'm a progressive, aren't I? Why can't people accept a different viewpoint? On the right, or being conservative, you can accept a different viewpoint, actually. No one says to me, HA, how come you don't hate Islam? Or how come you don't hate immigrants? Or how come you love dreamers? What's going on with you? You're not real. You're a bad person. No one says that. Nobody says that. If you're a Trump voter, they let you be yourself. They let you voice your opinion. And there's less groupthink. There's actually a lot less groupthink. It's just a lot better. I'm letting people know. Hugh Reck, founding fathers committing treason 12 years before writing the Constitution. They made it difficult to be convicted for fear of it being weaponized. Exactly, Hugh Reck. Very true. Very true. Scott, very true. Very true. Hugh Reck, taking a trip down the history of this country. Absolutely. Scott Bigler, HA, Democrats don't take kindly to logic and reason. I hope you can get 11 rounds of... Yes, Scott Bigler, thank you. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Scott Bigler. I will, and I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. That would be around 11 rounds. Yeah, man, thank you. And 10 rounds, yeah. And thank you so much, Scott. Thank you. I was at the Oak Tree yesterday. It was fantastic. The pistol range, actually. And I was shooting safely and responsibly, obviously, my CZ97B. And actually, what I found out is my left hand was not gripping the pistol correctly. And I know what I've been doing wrong. And I used to hold it correctly, and I don't know why my left hand was slipping. I have to go ahead and get my left hand up. Anyway, for the people who have given me advice, thank you. We want an HA bobblehead. Oh, wow. There's custom bobblehead dolls. It's fantastic. I always used to like the bobblehead day in like Dodger Stadium. Scott Bigler, thank you so very much. And Hugh Reck, you're 100% correct. The thing Also, it's so stupid that it's so stupid. Like Democrats are like, this is treasonous. You sold uranium, 20% of U.S. uranium capacity for what? What did we get out of it? What did we get out of it? Make one with a desk and a mic. Sean M. Sean. So if I had like, I had me and then little HA with the bobblehead, right? Be like, right? Hillary, she's getting indicted. They're the one. What did we get for this sale? So they allowed the sale to go through, but did the United States get anything? I don't think so. What did the United States get for this? I still don't know what we got in terms of compensation or I mean, does anyone know what did we get? What did the United States get for the uranium sale to Rosatom? Uranium one and then Rosatom. What did they get? What did we get? No, I won't be a Democrat. Well, what Republican scandal? If there's a Republican scandal, I'll talk about it. If it's a true scandal, I'll talk about it. So, a duopoly. Well, tell me where the viable third party is. Is there a viable third party? I voted green. I voted green, and if there's a Republican scandal worthy of doing segments on, yeah. If Trump did collude with Russia, do you know how many segments I would do? If Trump colluded with Russia, I would have what 300,000 subs, and Loud Citizen, dancing plushy bobblehead coming right up. H.A. Dance Man, orchestra. Accelerando con molto. Thank you, Loud Citizen. Thank you. Thank you, Loud Citizen. So, no, I mean, there was one critique, and fine, no problem. But, I mean, for me, I don't see a Republican scandal worthy of the condemnation of Trump-Russia, meaning condemning the fabrication of Trump-Russia or the treason. You're talking about treason, selling out the United States for the Clinton Foundation. There's nothing that comes close. Cheating Bernie Sanders, there's nothing that comes close. I mean, give me a Republican scandal and I'll talk about it. I'm voting Trump 2020, but if Trump actually, I don't know, steals $10 billion from Haiti, I'm going to talk about it. And if I see that there's evidence, I'm going to sniff it out and like a bloodhound or like a bulldog, sink my teeth into it. But I don't know where is this scandal that is. Did Trump put top secret and special access program intelligence on an unencrypted server? I mean, if he did, I want to know. But he didn't. I will not stand for this cockatocracy. John Brennan's tiny subpoena. Subpoena. I will not stand for this cockatocracy of not having Lee Stranahan on the show yet. You guys will not be. Lee Stranahan is fantastic. If he would ever want to come to my show, it'd be fantastic. It'd be great. I've been on his show, Stranahan and Nixon. It was fantastic. I think I've been on twice. Praise Keck. John Brennan. Subpoena, multiple subpoenas. SUBPOENAS. Multiple, numerous. Lee Stranahan's awesome. We have 1,020 people on this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. So I got a critique, but give me a Republican scandal and also a duopoly. I voted green, and I want to tell you, the Green Party, do you have Bernie Sanders? Do you have Elizabeth Warren? Do you have anyone who is saying, hey, I'll vote green. No. Child of Yah, do you think Trump will make the Israeli and Palestinian peace treaty deal that would begin the 7-year tribulation period before he leaves office, the art of the deal? I hope so. I hope so. I don't know. I want a Palestinian state along with a Jewish state, the Israel. I want a Palestinian state. I want the Palestinians to have a state. That's what makes me different from all the people who are like, we hate Israel. The people who hate Israel the most don't even talk about a Palestinian state on Twitter. But I want a Palestinian state, and I hope that Trump will eventually preside over a peace talk or peace deal. What has to take place is Hamas and Mahmoud Abbas of Fatah have to finally stop fighting each other. They tried to assassinate Abbas, which is right before the giant protest at the border. Shy, testing 1, 2, 3, testing. Shy, thank you so much. As always, thank you, Shy, thank you. So I want a Palestinian state. I want there to be peace. But every time people say something about Israel, they always forget. When they hate Israel, they always forget to bring up Hamas. People have been like livid, indignant, angry whenever I brought up, like, so what are your thoughts of Hamas? You can't get me to say anything. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just asking your thoughts. Oh, yeah. Well, I was like, okay, so you don't want to say the obvious. All right. John Kerry, Comey, McCabe, John O'Brien, Susan Rice, all signed off on the FISA warrant. Wow. And they picked a guy in Carter Page. They didn't care. They didn't care if he was guilty of anything. The only thing they cared about was some kind of way to justify their actions. Just like with what Brennan stated, well, you know, Twitter is banned in Iran. Think about that for a second. Wow. That is interesting. So I guess Rouhani didn't care. It's like, what does it matter? No, we don't have Twitter here, so it's like, I'm just going to try a troll. Already 100 likes, and this is secret Obama era permit. Let Iran convert funds to dollars. Child of Yah, I hope it happens. I hope there's peace. I'm all for peace. I love peace. I love peace. I'm not a Democrat. I missed Stalin loves CIA fake MSM. Thank you so much. Chia Pet. Yes. So let's look at Mark Meadows. He's always fun. All right, this is the original. Potentially groundbreaking development here. The Carter Page FISA docs should be declassified and further unredacted. If the previous admin was funneling campaign research towards surveillance, we need to know. The whole thing was a setup. The whole thing was an absolute setup, so sloppy, too. It was such a sloppy. Please help in my investigation, pretty much. James Comey's like, please don't turn socialist. If you do, then my ass is grass. This week, ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, Justice Democrats goes on to Trump. Twitter, you all need to flag this. It's a violent threat against your terms of service. What? I guess, well, then every single resist account should be flagged then. Every single resist. Keith Olbermann should never have been on Twitter. Could you imagine Keith Olbermann the past, like, Keith Olbermann, could you imagine? This is so funny. Oh my goodness. The one thing this guy wrote that's kind of funny. So much for the Nobel Peace Prize. This guy was writing things that are complete nonsense, but that actually is kind of funny. So much. Oh, I actually think he stole what he didn't. His Twitter, so that actually is funny. Whatever. See, you could find amusement with. Meanwhile, Obama did destroy Libya. Less outrage. Trump's tweet elicits more outrage. Philippe Reigns, right? What does that even mean? Lawnmower? Okay. Better hope. He quotes John Podesta in his. That's so funny. That's, you know, you're awesome when you're quoting John Podesta and you're. The guy puts the word password as his password. Then he worries about getting hacked. It wasn't even a hack, according to Bill Binney. They just better hope that Sessions doesn't exactly find out how they transfer top secret and special access program intelligence, or else a whole bunch of people. Oh my God, he's still there? Oh no, he's back to ESPN. Thank God. Fitting. Let's rock a little Tom Fitting. Yeah, right. They call a parallel universe. Yeah, NBC investing a parallel. That's what NBC should be doing. Arguing the Nunes memo is Democrats' anti-Trump media way of avoiding a discussion. Yeah, the parallel universe is NBC News or I should say the Democratic Party saying that Trump or that Putin is a threat to humanity years after Obama sold 20%, presided over the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. And then stated a couple of years back that they couldn't. There's no way anyone could have rigged the election. So, Frank, sorry for being late to the news, but did James Clapper just accuse the Russian collusion illusion on Obama? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And here is the actual. Okay, where is this thing? Here you go.
If it weren't for President Obama, we might not have done the intelligence community assessment that we did that set off a whole sequence of events which are still unfolding today, notably Special Counsel Mueller's investigation. President Obama is responsible for that, and it was he who tasked us to do that intelligence community assessment in the first place. I think it.
Prayers for Kenya being answered. Watch KTN News Kenya. Mixed emotions about Obama. Hashtag Worldwide Patriots. Hashtag Prayer Warriors. Thank you, Shy. Thank you, Shy. So, Frank, that basically, thank you, Shy. And Frank, that's basically it. So, once Democrats lose the House again, because they're not going to have the they're not going to have the turnout needed, because they need turnout and they need enthusiasm. They have none. The whole thing's a giant dumpster fire. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so much craziness. There's so much insanity. I mean, you have this tweet, this war of words, and there's no way we're going to attack. There's no way we're going to attack Iran. That, which is why I am able to enjoy this so much. Words of wisdom.
What's taking place is the slow descent of the left into absolute madness.
Sean, I didn't even see this. Thank you, Sean.
What's taking place is the slow descent of the left into absolute madness.
All right. Will the Dems turn on Clapper? I bet you they will. I bet you they will. Everyone's going to turn on each other. And notice how, like, notice how all of this is being unraveled before our very eyes, and only a few people are only like a few sources, I should say, are really discussing all of this. And the Nunes memo was right. The FISA application supports Nunes memo. When they were saying, "Oh, it's conspiracy," every single time they try to, like, you know, shove logic and reason aside, it points right back to their treachery. All right, ladies and gentlemen. FISA court docs obtained by Judicial Watch show court gamed by DOJ FBI to get spy warrant on Carter Page. What they did was pretty overt. Somebody asked that I unsubscribe. I want people to subscribe. I think what happens sometimes is on a cell phone or the Google will unsubscribe you if, like, it hits, you know, fabric or, you know, your pocket in a certain way. I don't know. I have people saying that they're unsubscribed. Sometimes I'll be unsubscribed from something. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to, there's 1,126 people. We're going to have an amazing week. An absolutely amazing week, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be, so tune in. I will see you tomorrow. And I want to just thank everyone for their support, their kind words, for watching. This is pound for pound, the best live stream, pound for pound, for 116,000 subs, to get continually 700 to 1,200 viewers live. And the super chat gives me every incentive to keep rocking this. Thank you. So thank you again to the super chat. Thank you to everyone. God bless. Shy, H.A., Iran, Africa, and many countries are praying for U.S. Let that sink in. God bless. Thank you, Shy. Thank you, Shy. Iran, Africa, and many countries are praying for the U.S. And let me tell you, I love the Iranian people. I love the Persian people. But Rouhani didn't need to get into a tweet war or whatever, because Trump's going to, that's what he does. Evan Coker, why does Hillary wear a pantsuit and a bot dress? Evan, thank you so very much, Evan Coker. Evan, thank you. Thank you, Evan. Good night, everyone. God bless you all. I will see you tomorrow. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Share this segment everywhere. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. God bless you again. Thank you so much.